Hey, welcome to X3, the show that has one topic and three pundits. I'm one of the pundits. I'm John C. Dvorak. I'm here with Andrew Eisner and Joe Engo. And got a little CES preview, there's a lot of stories floating around, and we're expecting, for example, some Windows 8 stuff, some Ultra books, whatever that might be, probably more 3D TV with different kinds of glasses. But the one everyone's talking about, and they can't stop talking about it, and it's a story after story, and there's pictures of it, and you can't miss it, is the 55-inch OLED that is this thin and this big and probably flexes. And, what do we know about this thing?
But you can just see the show floor of CES right now with, like crowds of, nerdy attendees taking pictures of this 55.
Yeah, no, that's true. I've already seen the picture of the girl.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I remember the CES show that had, I'm trying not to go to the show, and I probably won't, but because it's overcovered. What do you need me there for? But
you bring a special style of coverage, John.
Yeah,
it's overcovered by the traditional media.
Yeah, right, that's true. But how much cynicism can people take? So I was at the show where they introduced, where Pioneer, this is LG out of Korea, Pioneer Electronics showed the first plasma, the first flat panel that set off the whole thing that we're all using now. And it was a 42-inch plasma, and I believe it was either $12,000 or $30,000. I think it may have been the higher number because it was the first one. Yeah. And now, of course, those 42 inches you can get for $399. It's like $20,000, $30,000. This thing here is at 10 grand right now.
Yeah, 8 to 10 grand, they're saying.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you like OLED. It's very warm, colors.
I have a Nexus S.
Yeah.
And it has an OLED, and I like the look of this screen. Yeah. And when I put it next to people with their Apples, my screen usually blows them out of the water in terms of just the vividness.
So, the advantage of OLED are you've got sort of infinite contrast because it's essentially no backlighting. So these things, when it's off, it's off. So, and it's very bright whites. It's very fast response time. So response times are in the microseconds rather than the milliseconds. So you have no motion blurring. It's very low power, like 50 watts of power on these things, and they're very thin and
Well, the white thing is apparently part of the problem. I was reading it because they do have they're white, and unfortunately RGB signals don't really have a white component. No. They mix it up, so you have to translate the signal into, this is supposed to be white, we think, let's trigger the white color. And it's
more than just RGB now. The component cables are five.
Yeah,
colors,
but there's still no white. And this actually has a white.
There will be future versions of OLED TVs will use what's called quantum dots. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, but these are nanocrystals that emit very precise colors. So when they add, next year maybe it's.
No, I think it'll be a few years, but I think there's no reason you can't take any signal and then translate it into what the set expects of the screen have, and then it would just say, "Here, look at me."
Yeah. Well, this is going to be the star of the show. As you say, Ultrabooks are basically, MacBook
Don't it be
Airs.
great if the thing crapped out right before the show started? And they had nothing to show.
I know.
Well, I'm sure they have a few backups just in case.
LG booth is typically pretty good. I've always been impressed with its life is good, LG.
Yeah, well, they have, they're always the second-rate company in Korea in terms of Samsung owns the space.
That's right.
And then these guys, which used to be two separate companies, Lucky and Gold Star, and then Philips, I guess, came in and helped them out. They dreamed up this
Dutch into
Lucky Gold Star, LG, which is a better name than these crazy Asian names. And they have a lot of early products, and then they never really do much with the marketing. But it's at some point, one of these companies has got to pick up get into the manufacturing. Samsung jumped into panels, LCD panels, heavy. They were a big monitor maker, and
I still think they're some of the best displays on the market, though.
They took it very seriously, and they went all. But I don't know if you can get flat-footed here if the thing switch, because if there's a switcher to OLED, if the price comes down drastically, it should be cheaper to make.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit like, SSDs and magnetic hardware. You'll still be able to get a lot more for your money on LCDs. And now they're coming out, I think at this show you'll see more 4K, the ultra high definition. So, and if you haven't seen those are absolutely gorgeous. I mean,
yes,
but the problem with 4K is what are you going to watch on it?
Well,
there's no players.
What the 4K will let you do is do passive 3D. So right now, passive 3D is interlaced, so you lose half the...
What does passive 3D mean to you?
Circularized, polarized,
the
real D, like the ones you use in the movie theater.
The movie you want to see before this
Hugo.
thing is Hugo.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I hear it's marvelous.
You got to see it because it's going to only be out for
I meant to go see it on the holiday break, but...
I saw it twice now because my wife was in town and we had this, and my daughter just came down, so we went and see it. So now I got to watch it differently because it's deep.
Yeah.
And it was just as good the second time, and the 3D, I think that movie could sell 3D sets because the 3D is an element of the film. It's not just a gimmick, which everything else is,
Oh, God, did you see a Harold and Kumar Christmas movie? Oh, they made fun of 3D so badly. Like, the whole movie is 3D, but they constantly were poking at you. And no, they were taken to the extreme, and they were purposely pointing out the fact that it's 3D. And it was actually a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. Way better than the second one.
Huh. Well, I remember that when some of the 3Ds that get real gimmicky. I don't know if you ever saw Captain EO at Disneyland.
I think I missed that.
And there was also a Muppet movie,
that.
I believe, that was done. It was in 3D I think that was in Disney World, and they would. I guess they use a very wide. The cameras are really spread apart, so you could really bring the images out. And you'd have little animals sitting on the guy's head, sitting in front of you. That'd be a little thing right there. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But they don't do anything like that. They just kind of make it interesting. But
so 3D will be back at this year's CES, and then the 4Ks I think will help that cause.
I don't know what you're going to
see. I still think 3D is dying. It's
just going to be part of the whole. It's
I
just
agree.
Gonna be a feature
I mean, it'll be there, but I think that it's just still novelty.
It's always going to be a novelty unless what Scorsese did becomes more common.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I heard it recently in the news. There was some country, I think it might have been Japan, that is now trying out their first full 3D broadcast television station.
Well, ESPN has a full 3D broadcast cable station.
Yeah. Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And there's some decent 2D to 3D conversion, algorithms, so that could help. And then you'll know it's really become accepted when you have 3D camcorders. So
they actually do already. I mean, you get Fuji.
But they're very expensive.
Fuji has one that is a very nice little 3D camcorder camera, a combo. Yeah. And they're not that expensive. They're they're not cheap. Yeah. They're not $200, but they're like $500.
When 3D shows up on the iPhone, then you'll know it's.
Well,
don't hold your breath.
Actually, the display that size, you can do it without glasses.
Yeah.
Because they have at the back of the Fuji camera. People should just try to track one of these things down and turn on the 3D, and it's like, wow. I tend to agree with Joe overall, but the fact is they'll be able to just incorporate 3D and with the polarizing glasses, those circular ones, which work great.
Those are great. You can even get prescription versions of those. They're cheap,
Yeah.
So,
It's
actually, when we went to go see Harold and Kumar, when we were going into the theater, they asked if we brought our own glasses. Because they said that most people now are not even using their glasses. They actually buy their own real nice, comfortable glasses, and they're bringing them in.
They're using the circular polarizer. Have you looked at the technology of circular polarization? It's weird. I don't even know how they ever dreamed it up. It's this light comes in and it's twisted or something, and it just spins.
Polaroid.
Maybe they use that trillion frame per second camera.
Yeah. It's like
it's screwy, John.
It's screwy. Yeah, that's good. We'll end on a pun. You've been watching X3.